I used to be so jealous when I was a little kid. The Weldys, who worked in the apartment building across the street from our big house and who worked on the side for my father, making more for my father than he did from his job, and he had worked for other people that way too. So he had a fairly good income. What do I want to say about the Weldys?
You said you were jealous of the Weldys when you were a little kid?
Because, yes, that's it. Because they celebrated Christmas in a big way.
Yeah.
And it's funny that Mrs. Weldy, I later found out, almost toward the end of our relationship with the Weldys, Mrs. Weldy was Jewish.
No kidding.
And I once said to somebody several years before that, and they asked me what I thought about the Weldys. I said, well, they were always very nice to us, and the kids played together very well, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, you know what? She looks Jewish. So everybody laughed at me because they celebrated Christmas, the whole family, including Mrs. Weldy. And it turned out that she was Jewish. I remember there was a conversation which I didn't hear, but everybody else heard, and I learned of it. Mr. Weldy used to work for my father. He was a little bit of everything. He could do carpentry, he could do electrical work, and so on. And my father always called him Weldy. And finally one day, Mr. Weldy said to my father, you know, I don't like this, and I don't think I can work for you anymore unless we change it. I call you Mr. Backrack and you call me Weldy. And I don't like this. So my father said, well, call me anything you want. Mm-hmm. Then Mr. Weldy said, but you wouldn't approve of it, and it's important to me that you approve of me. It's important to my income. So my father said something. I think he was trying to calm him down and be nice to him. He said something like that. And Weldy said something like, I don't know how he got into it, if we're talking about equality, he said, Weldy said, I went to Yale. What college did you go to? So my father gave the typical answer for that period of time, which is, I went to the College of Hard Knocks.
So I'm surprised that somebody who went to Yale would be working as a handyman.
What?
I'm surprised that someone who went to Yale would be working as a handyman.
And you have no idea what the Great Depression was like. Mm-hmm. It was a real depression, and people who had office jobs were on the breadline. Mm-hmm. It was really grim. And I told you, we had 4 guys once a week come and sit down on our swing that went this way. And we had 2 guys on that side and 2 guys on this side. And our maid would come out with a hot meal for them, like if we had roast beef or we had chicken, that's what they would get. He would hustle out to give them, potatoes, and then the main course, a vegetable, and dessert.